Hey there, you wonderful listeners. I have a question for you. Do you want to make a podcast? Well, Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily and then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place and for free. How can you beat that? It's called Spotify for Podcasters. And here is how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, there are Q&A and poll options available, and those are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it has made doing my shows like the Steam Machine Podcast, Yabs Pod, and the JRPG Report much, much easier to do. Like being able to just go on there, record them, upload it, boom, it's done. I don't have to pay for a site service to host or anything like that. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend that you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today. And welcome back to the Steam Machine Podcast. My name's Dalton, and joining me, as always, is my good buddy.
This is Ryan.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be our quote-unquote Halloween episode, right? Technically. Well, no. We said we might do something special for Halloween itself.
We might do something on Halloween itself, yeah.
But this is going to be the final horror game that we play, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed this month. I enjoyed playing all the scary games.
Some of the games are pretty good as far as the spook level goes.
Yeah, I think Resident Evil took the cake.
That one by far for sure was the scariest of all the games that we touched this month.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I do want to touch on right here at the beginning of the episode that I was going to cover part 2 of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines this week, and Steam. I don't know if it was Steam or what happened, but
you had the same problem I had.
I logged in and all of my saves were gone. Now, this had happened to me once already, and I loaded the game up through the exe and the files instead of going through Steam, and my saves were gone. But I loaded it up through Steam, and they were there. So I figured that's what happened, right? No. I went and I looked in the folder where your saves are at, and it is completely fucking empty. So with that being said, I didn't have enough time to start the game over and run through all of that again. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to be covering part 2 of that. Now, I will say that despite that issue, the game was fantastic, in my opinion. Great soundtrack. I heard some Lacuna Coil and Tiamat as I was running around, which I thought was really cool. But, you just know that it's an old game. It's got some jank, and it could delete your saves randomly. But good time nonetheless.
I know you enjoyed it. You were diving into those side missions.
Absolutely. Well, before we dive into the Coma, which is what you played this week, I'll just kind of fill you in on what I've been doing. But even before we get there, how have you been this week, man? I haven't talked to you much.
Oh, work, babies. It's very little time for anything, really. It's a 1 month old.
To even think, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I can imagine, man. I remember that, like, the first week we got on here, you looked at me, you were like, you see my face? This is the face of exhaustion. And I was like, yeah, I bet.
It still is. Like, some nights he sleeps all right, but most nights he's up every 2 hours or so. And he's a fussy baby. He communicates by crying. That's pretty much his only form of communication at this point.
Oh, lovely. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad you're at least hanging in there.
Yeah.
Everything's
Only got,
going well.
I think 5 more weeks left of work before I go on winter break, and that can go anywhere from like middle of January to March if they extend till past spring break for spring semester.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle all that. You know,
We'll see.
we'll see. Well, this week, so when I logged into Vampire the Masquerade and all my saves were gone, I was very dejected. So I went and dumped a ton of hours into Diablo 3 and World of Warcraft this week.
Did you?
Yeah. I loaded up Diablo 3 and was like, man, I haven't played this in a while. Let's check it out. So I made a season character, which I had never done before, which basically what that is every few months, I believe that they do a new season, and you have to start fresh, make a new character every season. But your characters get taken out of season mode and put into regular mode once the season's over. But it's just trying to see who can get the best out of everything type stuff, and I've really been enjoying it. I took my character to max level, which is level 70, and now I think he's level Paragon 50. So once you hit level 70 and max out, you can keep leveling up through Paragon levels. And I was actually talking to this girl I know, and she told me that her Paragon level's like 900 on her main character, and I was like, holy shit, yeah, that's a lot of time. So I was like, well, damn, I got some catching up to do, huh? Right. But man, it's a blast. You know, I play mostly with my mouse, you know, just clicking around, and I have some action on my bars, but I have it set to where like my action bars on Diablo, I think, are like supposed to be a 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've just got it set to my mouse button my mouse. I have 2 buttons on the side of it, and I have one set for 1, one set for 2, and then I just hold shift, and then it's 3 and 4. So minimal movement. It's fantastic. I can just kick back and just kill shit.
I thought about loading up Skyrim this week, but I haven't got around to it yet.
That's been on my mind too, but I have to wait until November 1st because, you know, caps on internet fucking suck.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Comcast. Here's my thing. They fucking proved during the virus that they could waive that and they wouldn't go out of business. They still made a ton of money. And then they bring it back because they want more money. But whatever, you know, I digress. So I really enjoyed going through Diablo, killing demons, all that kind of stuff. I made a Crusader, and it was fun. The different classes there are is have you ever played Diablo 3 at all?
Yeah.
You have? Oh, okay. But for maybe the listeners who haven't, you have Barbarian, Witch Doctor. There's like a rogue type guy. I think it's Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
And then you have Crusader, Necromancer, and I'm sure I'm forgetting. I think there's a Sorcerer or something. I know I'm forgetting something. But I really like Barbarian, but I decided to go Crusader because I hadn't really played one of those yet, and I am thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then on World of Warcraft, I logged in and I got Battle for Azeroth Pathfinder Part 2 finished up, which took me forever to get up the rep for these 2 specific areas called Nazjatar and Mechagon. Dude, took me weeks, but I finally got it, so now I can fly in the new areas, which is, you needed those to be able to fly, so I can fly everywhere in the game now, which is fantastic because that carries over to all your other characters. You don't have to get that achievement on every character, you just need it on the one character. Which is cool. And then all of your characters have the achievement. Yeah, it's fantastic how they've kind of edited that up a little bit. So they have a new expansion coming out soon, Shadowlands, which I've pre-ordered, and man, they took and they made it where the max level was 120, right?
Yeah.
So they took all the 120s and squished them down to level 50, and they just took everybody, and that's now max level until Shadowlands comes out, where the max will be taken back up to 60.
Yeah.
So they've kind of revamped the leveling experience and all that, but one thing that they did is they added back some abilities to classes that were taken away. And I play Retribution Paladin. And man,
I can do consecration again, which is like this. It's a paladin move, but for some reason within the past few expansions, it's been just a tank move when you're doing protection paladin. But you drop this like holy, just it looks like a bunch of cracks in the ground underneath you, and it hurts all the enemies around you, and it really comes in handy just for some extra damage. But I'm glad to have that back on Retribution. I also took a mage to level 50. Ice Mage is nasty. I love it. I've also heard Fire Mage is really good, so I'm going to check that out as well. But one of the things that I've been doing here in the past few days is the Hollow's End event. So basically, it's like this spooky Halloween event that they do every year, and there are, like, around the different cities and stuff, there's these big pumpkins that have candy in them and stuff, and you can click them and you'll get the candy, and there's achievements for eating too much candy and making your character throw up and all this kind of different stuff. But the main thing is once a day, well, you can queue for it as much as you want, but there's a headless horseman battle that works like the dungeon, and you queue for it and you beat it, and like the goal of mine is to get the horseman's reins, which is you get the headless horseman's mount. I really want it, so I've been trying to run it every day on all my characters that are eligible to get it, which I believe you have to be at least level 45 to be eligible for the mount to drop while you're in there. Wow. But still, it's been a lot of fun. I'm the guild master of a small little guild that I made for the Tadpog Discord, because there was a few of us that were going to play, but right now it's just me and Grim. So shout out to Grim. It's been good playing with you, brother. And Catchpenny pops in as well every now and then too. I know that you were trying to think of an MMO to play, and I would offer to extend my hand, and I would power level the shit out of you through World of Warcraft, but it's a monthly charge. But as I told you, the free ones, from what I've gathered with us doing this show and me knowing you for a while now, you like a fast-paced game with a lot of action going on that's going to keep you entertained. You're not like a one to really sit back and read and things like this. So when you had mentioned to me that you were considering RuneScape, I don't hate that idea, but I also think that RuneScape might be too slow-paced for you. Yeah. You know? And I don't mean that, you know, in a negative way or anything, but I think that you would really like maybe Terra, because Terra is a lot like World of Warcraft, but it's free. I mean, it has its things where you have to pay, but other than that, there's Black Desert Online I think you would really like, but that's going to be one you might want to put off until you get a gaming PC, because that game is beautiful and might take a bit to run. Albion Online I think you would like. Onigiri is a very strange game, but it's very fun. It's a Japanese lore-based MMO. Soul Worker is like an anime hack and slash MMO type thing. Seems pretty cool. There's a few different ones that I think that, we'll hash it out and figure it out and maybe talk about it on the air. And also, I am gonna start working on writing a tabletop campaign. I just don't know what game I want to do it for yet, but I'm going to start working on that, and maybe eventually, when you're like during break or something and we have more time, we could get a couple people to play with us, and we'll do like, I don't know, side episodes of the show or something.
We can do it right here on the Discord channel.
Yeah. So, if we have any listeners that are interested in maybe playing some D&D or something of the like, get with us on the Facebook page. And speaking of the Facebook page, before we segue into the Coma, we had a listener message me about our discussion. He said he was a little behind. Our buddy James Hall, which is not JRPG Report James, but another James that we know, and he wanted me to bring up his opinion on the physical versus digital thing. And he said that...
Never die.
Huh?
This discussion is never going to die.
No, man, I'm telling you. It's just like physical media. This discussion will never die, right? He said, I'm a little behind, but you guys were talking about the digital-only world. He goes, I personally don't think that we'll ever see physical media completely die. But what I think will happen is that physical releases will exist at a higher premium for the most dedicated kind of like laser discs were before they died.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know if you want to bring my opinion up or not on the next show, but, that's just my 2 cents. And I said,
No,
I
I
gotcha.
agree with that statement. Like, digital is going to be the forefront. That's what they're going to push and everything like that. And then they're going to do raised prices on a very limited physical release. Like, they're only going to drop maybe like 10,000 physical copies, and that's it.
yeah. Hell, Nintendo's already doing that. Like,
Yeah, they are.
with the Super Mario 3D World or whatever it was. 3D All-Stars.
Saw on Twitter today somebody at GameStop made a big oof on their website.
Oh, man.
They had a bunch of stuff listed for free. They were selling Nintendo Switch consoles for $4.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't think they're going to honor any of those, which is...
Probably not, which is kind of fucked.
I mean, yeah, if people catch it, that is what it is, dude. You gotta...
Yeah, for sure.
You can't just say, oops, our bad.
Yeah.
That's not how shit works in this world these days.
Yeah.
maybe at one point.
The person who bought that money's gone off their card already. That's already in GameStop's hands. If they were going to cancel all of those transactions, it's gonna take 3 to 5 business days for that person to see their money returned.
Yeah, but at least it's $4 instead of $300.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
Big oops on someone's part. Somebody lost their job today.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And then I saw where Google and Stadia and all of that are distancing themselves from that guy who came out and was saying that streamers should pay companies to stream their games, which is just fucking ridiculous to me. Because think about the free advertising that streaming is. The Fall Guys or Among Us, these types of games, would not have the popularity that they do if it weren't for Twitch.
That's fair. I understand. I see both sides of the argument. Most of the stuff I saw on Twitter was split 50-50. I get where not a small percentage of streamers actually make a ton of money off of this. This is just something a lot of streamers do for fun.
Yeah.
There's no real way that they're going to make or lose money for the publishers themselves. Because most streamers are, let's be real, are small based. They don't have the vast numbers of viewers to make to have it be a legit job.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's got out there. It's helped them get a lot of small indie games to the forefront of the gaming community. Among Us was one of those ones that you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But I get where this guy's coming from too. These artists and these people are just like any other artists, actors, musicians, painters, shit like that. They want to get paid for their material.
Yeah, but they do.
How many Facebook videos have been taken down of yours for copyright infringement, according to Facebook?
For music?
Yeah.
A decent amount.
But
And
I don't.
they could start doing that with streamers too.
Yeah, but dude, I know when we were talking about this the other day, I brought it up. I'm like, how much do you pay for an album? $20, if that, these days?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Video games.
There's a historical precedent for the music industry though.
Oh yeah, the
prices for albums and stuff has always been significantly lower than video games, for sure.
Well, if they lower the price of video games to the price of albums, then I'll get behind that 100%. Yeah, then charge them to stream it, dude. But for right now, if you want a collector's edition, you got to pay $150.
Oh, I know.
If you want, let's use Dynasty Warriors 9. Let's use Dynasty Warriors 9 as an example. That game has 80 something DLC.
Yeah.
And it's
they're completely fucking predatory. I mean, look at all the expansions for The Sims. If you wanted to buy all the expansions, you're dropping $400, $500 for the full game. It's totally predatory, but that's just the publishers and them being super capitalistic about it. They're like, how can we stretch this game out enough to maximize profit on it for the time that they invested in this game? Most of these games take a couple years to complete. That's a lot of fucking that's a lot of work. A lot of these programs work 60 hours a week, if not more.
I'll say this with The Sims. to their credit, when they release a Sims game, they usually support it for like a while. So it's like they're releasing DLC to help them keep up supporting it. Now, that I don't know what to say about the stuff packs though, because that's where they get you with the like, oh, well, you want this certain patio look, well, you can get it in this stuff pack for $4.99.
Yeah, the microtransactions.
And it's not even micro. I mean, they're kind of microtransactions, but they're marketed as DLC. When it's like that stuff could easily just be patched in with an update and still charge people. Yeah, okay. So the pets DLC or the Magic DLC or the the Star Wars one that just came out. Yeah, I understand charging people for those because it adds a lot of content, but charging people to like add 50 new things that they could put into their house. That it range from a couch to
Nintendo and Animal Crossing. They patch that stuff in all the time and don't charge anybody else more for it. This is one of the reasons why I like Animal Crossing so much. Is you can't go in and you can't buy like bell packs to like beef up your house as soon as possible. You actually have to like work for it.
Yeah. I know. I sunk some serious hours into that game.
Yeah, this whole streaming issue. It's a very shitty move, but I also stand where they're coming from. Like, it's one of those things. Like, if they do say that they can start charging licensing fees for streamers and stuff to do it, it would only really affect, I think, is the major publishers and stuff. Because the indie people are still going to get their shit out there for free somehow. Like, or they're going to get it out there for super cheap somehow, whether it's Steam, whether it's some other site. Like, there'll be ways around it. And then I'm sure they'll come up with something instead of like, hey, you can use our products, but instead of paying for the licensing fee, we get a certain percentage of your monetization every time our footage is used in your stream, sort of thing.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of, I know at least on YouTube, I was watching a video and somebody started just singing a song. The song wasn't playing. They were just singing the song, and they were like, well, you gotta stop. Don't keep singing that, or we'll get demonetized. Yeah. I was like, wow, really? You can't even sing it like a cappella? Wow.
Copyright laws, man.
That's so fucked, dude.
With the internet getting so... The internet runs everything now. Without the internet, all of civilization would collapse. Like, the rate of transfer, like the rate of being able to view something, a song, a movie, shit like that, it's instantaneous almost at this point. They're super enforcing these copyright laws now. Like, anybody can just say, oh, look, I did this song first. It's like watching the Trapped Official and the Trapped Unofficial Twitter page go at each other over who is actually the real Trapped. Like, have you seen that?
My God. That page is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
So good. God, fuck the guy from Trapped. He's such a douchebag.
Yeah.
All right, well, on that note, Lee, let's dive into this. The Coma Recut is a remastered version of the Coma cutting class, and it was developed by Devespresso Games and published by Digerati. Devespresso.
That's funny.
And if I remember right, it's because they called themselves that because they worked out of a coffee shop to make this game.
There's a coffee item in the game that you use to like permanently hold your stamina, or not permanently, but temporarily hold your stamina so it doesn't drain, and it's called a Devespresso.
Nice. Love it. It was released on September 22nd, 2017 for Steam, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, and on December 21st, 2017 for Nintendo Switch. And they released a mobile version, looks like January 17th, 2019 for Android, and January 22nd for the iOS that same year. And they've released a sequel to this game, The Coma 2 Vicious Sisters, on Steam and GOG, January 28th of 2020. So
there is a sequel to this game?
There is a sequel to this game, yeah. So I first heard about this game, I watch the YouTuber Metal Jesus Rocks, and he has a guy that he brings on named Radical Reggie, who also has a YouTube channel, and Reggie was just ranting and raving about how good this game was. So
I saw a bundle one day that had it as part of the bundle, and I was like, dude, let's do it. So, I didn't play it this week. You did, so I'm gonna let you kind of fill me in, man. So tell me about this game.
I liked it. It was a good game. Like it was creepy, but it wasn't scary. Like there were a couple moments where I was just like, well, shit, I'm about to die. Like, but this game reminded me a lot of Corpse Party. It takes place in a high school.
Yeah.
Like, another school place, supernatural setting. I don't know if that's just like
I
the
think
big thing over there, but
I think that's a thing.
yeah. But this game was fun. I loved the animation style. The art style was fantastic. And then the one thing that I definitely preferred this over, say, Corpse Party, was that this was a side scroller.
Interesting.
Yep, side scroller. So this was cool. I enjoyed how minimalist it was too. Like very few buttons that you actually had to use to play through the game. And then it's a straight survival game. You have no way of defending yourself. You get like no way to attack anything like that. And you only run into, I think, 2 enemies throughout the entire game. You have this killer that is on the loose in this high school.
I was gonna say, aren't you avoiding somebody chasing you around? Like,
You're avoiding somebody, but as you make your way through the game, again, this is a very short game. I completed this game in, I think, a little over 2 hours today.
Nice.
I did use a walkthrough guide, but I saw on YouTube somebody did a speed run in this game, and it was like 24 or 29 minutes or something like that. A
Wild.
speed run with no damage in like 29 minutes.
wild. I wonder if you used glitches or anything.
I don't know. It would be interesting to see. But this game, very small map. You can only explore like 3 buildings, and each building only has like 3 floors, and there's like 5 rooms per floor. It's a lot of back and forth running around though. The killer doesn't spawn all that often as you're out walking around, but when it does, when the killer does spawn, you got to be pretty quick to hide, or you're gonna die.
Okay,
it's
so
not like, yeah, it's kind of like Corpse Party. If you try to hide inside of like a locker or a cabinet or something, and you blatantly do it like right in front of the killer, they saw you. They start stabbing your ass.
I got you. So it's not like Resident Evil where you can just run in the safe room and they'll be looking
Yeah.
at you and be like, "Where'd you go?"
There's one safe room in this game, and I do believe it's the cafeteria. Like I didn't see any actual bad guys or killers or anything spawn in that room. But the whole point of this game is that like you're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on, and then you're also trying to find out what your grades are for your report card. Because, you're a school student. Like,
It's like, man, could you stop trying to kill me? I'm just trying to figure out if I got enough A's to get a PS5. Like,
but through your exploration of the school and stuff, you start coming in contact with a couple other students. I think there's 2 of them that you interact with the most, and both of them are kind of sketchy. But one of them, right from the get-go, gave me the "you're a fucking douchebag" vibes.
there's always one. There's always one.
Yep. And then you find out that douchebag guy is the guy who is causing all these problems. He is jealous of your stature as like top of the class in the smart people's class, the accelerated program.
I used to be in that. Hey.
He's been stealing your grades and shit like that, and changing his grades to your grades by hacking the school's computer system and shit like that.
What a douche.
But he gets mad about your grades and shit, that he like performs a ritual and starts bringing like a supernatural plane upon the school to take out all of his rivals.
What a fucking over-exaggerator. Like, who is just like, you know what? This guy's better than me? I'm gonna summon a fucking demon.
Yeah.
Fuck you, buddy.
The thing is like when you start the game, one of the first things that you can interact with is somebody drops like a pendant on the ground, and this pendant turns out to be like the relic that it was used for the ritual and everything like that. And then when you said that there was a sequel to this game, I was like, there has to be. The ending of the game has the pendant being passed off to another person with douchebag like behind them, like glaring at them like, "You have my relic." Like, so I enjoyed this game though. There was a bit of a creep factor when you're getting chased around by the killer, but it was easy gameplay. It really was. Super short gameplay. So if you need to take a break from a longer RPG or something like that,
Worth
you just
diving
want,
into.
like, a couple hour time killer. The Coma was great for it. I actually read the dialogue for most of it.
I am fucking shocked.
I know, right?
I'm
It wasn't
fucking
bad.
shocked.
It wasn't bad. Like,
Cool,
I
man.
give the game probably a 7 out of 10 spooks.
7 out of 10 spooks. It's not so bad. Yeah, I mean, I've been meaning to, check it out. I just never did. And then this week, I was just so angry about losing my Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines data that I was just like,
I told you that happened to me, and you're just like, we'll figure it out. And then it doesn't to you.
well, because I was able to fix it the first time it happened to me. It was like, and then the game was like, oh, fix me, fix you, motherfucker. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it did.
Son of a bitch.
Catch you off guard again. I started playing this. I was going through the free section of the Steam store, and I was just downloading a bunch of games. And I come across this one. It's called The Witch in the Forest. And it's a slice of life visual novel. There's like no point to the game other than just clicking through dialogue. And I probably sat here at my computer for a good hour clicking through dialogue.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's some really good visual novels out there, dude. Like, there really are.
It was getting me. I was like, wait, hold on. I've been in here for like an hour. I only told Corinne I'd be gone for like 2 minutes. Like,
yeah, dude, that's what happened to me the first time I loaded up Doki Doki Literature Club. I started playing it, and I'm like, well, let's see where this goes. And then 5 hours later, I beat it, and I was like, well, shit.
that was me with a short hike too. Like,
Oh yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that.
oh, I bought it, so you have it in the family share library.
Nice. Oh, speaking of that, we won't worry about it tonight, but I need to reconnect that because I had to reinstall Steam the other day just because of something out of my own dumbass accord.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I believe last week we ran the randomizer to see what was our theme for November, and we got platformer. Correct?
Yeah, platformer.
All right. Well, then let me run Steamy, and we'll see what we get this week. And it's looking like it's going to be number 51. And if I reference our list, then number 51, my good sir, is Psychonauts. Have you ever played Psychonauts before?
I believe I have.
I think it originally came out on like PS2, Xbox, like back in the day.
Yeah.
Fantastic fucking game. I'm really looking forward to diving back into it.
Yeah.
And also, let me pull up a handy dandy number generator because we have a contest.
Yeah, we did.
We have a contest this week.
Yeah, we
And
do.
I know this is a shorter episode this week, but it was a shorter game. And yeah, not going to lie to you guys, me and Ryan are both absolutely fucking exhausted. It's been a long week. All right, so we had 6 entrants that I could find on, not counting your lovely lady because you already have the games because they're in the family library. She had commented about possibly having to take over Resident Evil for you, so that was just made me laugh. All right, so we have 6 people, so let's run it, and we're gonna see who wins a key for Lust of Darkness and a key for Rise of the Triad. The lucky winner will get both. So let's run this, and it's going to be... Oh, of course I loaded up the list and accidentally exited out of it. Uno momento. All right, it looks like it's going to be our buddy Hans. He's a good listener, man. Hans, you win a key on Steam for Lust of Darkness and a key for the Rise of the Triad. So I will get with you within the next couple days, buddy, and get that key over to you, or those keys. And maybe we'll bug you sometime to get down on some Rise of the Triad with me and Ryan. We'll go fuck some shit up. All right. Well, Psychonauts, Hans wins, the Coma recut. Decent episode, man. Decent episode. I gotta know if you were okay. So I think we touched upon this a little bit in the game, but okay, so if you were put into a situation where somebody you loved was dead and then not dead, and then you had to go get them, and you showed up to a derelict ass house.
Oh, Resident Evil.
And then while you're at this derelict ass house, you get a phone call from this person, and you're like, hello, who is this? And they're like, hey man, I've been fucking your grades up because you're a douchebag, and I took you to this house because I summoned this whole thing, and all these demons are gonna fucking kill you. And then this guy comes over and he's like, hey, if you just drink their blood, you'll be fine. You know, I don't know. Dude, this is delirium at this point. I'm telling you, I haven't slept at all. All right, let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and we'll end it here. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Steam Machine Podcast. If you would like to find us on social media, you can find us at facebook.com/the Steam Machine Podcast, or you can find us on Twitter at Steam_podcast. We're on YouTube. Search the Steam Machine Podcast on YouTube, and we will come up, and you can see our pretty faces or ugly mugs, however you feel about that. And please, if you will, go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. We're up to 5 5-star reviews, which I really appreciate. We are halfway to 10. And like I said, when we hit 10, I will give away another game key, because I've got a thing for bundles, and bundles have a thing for having the same games in them. So, yeah, so we've got some stuff to give away. Is there anything else you'd like to touch on, my brother? You looking forward to Psychonauts? You kind of, I don't know, how do you feel about platformers?
I enjoy platformers.
Yeah, that's always been one of my favorites.
It might get me in the mood to hook up the Super Nintendo.
Bust out some Mario, yeah.
I know the new Pokemon expansion comes out this month. Or comes
I think it's already out, isn't it?
I thought it came out in mid-November.
I might just be seeing people that have gotten pre-access to it then.
Maybe.
Because I've just been seeing articles. I haven't seen any gameplay or anything. But yeah, man, platformers are actually, I think, one of our longer genre lists at 111 games.
Sounds about right. They're easier to animate and develop.
Yeah.
For like indie gamers and shit like that.
I think that this and RPG is going to be where most of our games, lie. Now, granted, like I've told you, some of these lists are going to intertwine a little bit, but yeah. But anyways, all right. Well, then that does it for this week, guys. He's Ryan. I'm Dalton, and as always, take it easy.